Into LFFL Primetime, the fastest 5 minutes in the LFFL universe. Gonna get you caught up on what happened in week 6. Look ahead to week 7. So let's get cranking with the original league. Over here, we had Phil, a close one over Matt. Miles, a close one over Eric. Todd beats Greg. Josh beats Bill. And I was able to win a squeaker over Andy. Looking at your standings. Miles, Josh, 5-1. I'm at 4-2. Andy, Todd, Greg, all at 3-3. Matt, Bill, Phil, 2-4. Eric at 1-5. Looking into week 7 over here, Miles and Matt, 1-1 early on in this series. Andy versus Phil. Phil holds the 13-9-1 lead in the series. Todd facing off with Bill. Bill holds a 23-12 lead in the series. However, this is a rematch of last year's semifinal, and if it was a semifinal game, we all know what happened. Todd won that game. Greg takes on Eric. Greg has won 3 straight now. It's a 20-14 lead in the series. And in our final series, I'm taking on Josh. I have traditionally held a very big lead in the series. Currently, it is 23-5. LFFL 2. Greg, big win over the Bill in a high-scoring game. Merrill Brothers, high score of the week in their win over Miles. Andy beats Phil. Todd beats Eric, and I win a pillow fight against Sean. Looking at our standings over here, we have got a train wreck of a standings. Greg, Eric, Andy, Sean all 4-2. Just a game back. Merrill's myself and Bill at 3-3. Phil and Miles 2-4, and Todd at 1-5 has to be thinking to himself, still in this thing because there is not a lot of separation right now. Week 7, Greg taking on Sean, Eric taking on the Merrills, Bill versus Miles, Phil versus Todd, Andy versus Casey. I didn't have a fun note for this league. I was just reminiscing because of the tie between Andy and Phil in the original league of that season when Greg tied all his games and was like the king of ties. That was awesome. LFFL 3, your defending champion Matt Merrill looking good to go back-to-back. 149 this week and a huge win over Matt Brennan. Phil beats Todd, Miles beats Sean, Andy beats Greg, Bill beats Nate. I was able to beat Eric. Miles off to the 6-0 start in this league, trying to hold off Matt the best he can. Best start ever? Not even close. Multiple teams have made it to double-digit wins without a loss. Certainly, Greg and I both navigated a season over here with just 1 loss. So, Miles, plenty of work to do to catch us. Looking at the rest of your standings, Matt, Merrill, and Phil, Andy all 4-2. Todd, myself, Eric, Matt, Brennan, Bill all 3-3. Greg, Sean, and Nate at 1-5. Looking at week 7, Miles versus Andy, Phil versus Matt, Brennan, Matt versus Sean, Eric versus Greg, Todd versus Nate, and I'm taking on Bill. Congratulations, Mr. Todd Meyer, his second win in 3 weeks over here, sets a new score for this year at 195.04. That is the 15th highest score of all time in this league. Well done, Mr. Meyer. Greg, your second place finisher. Eric, your third place finisher. Third straight week, he has been top 3 in this league. I hold the lead on the season with Greg sitting in second, Todd in third, but you can see bunched up leaderboard here. Anyone's game. Keep getting those lineups in. See what you can do. LFFL 5, Bill, Eric, Sean, Phil, and myself, your winners this week. Looking at your standings, Bill at 6-0, but rumor has it, very concerned about this week with buys and injury. Eric at 5-1. I'm at 4-2. Greg, Todd, Phil, all 3-3. Andy 2-4. Miles 2-4. Nate at 1-5. Sean at 1-5. Looking at week 7, Bill taking on Todd. We've got Eric taking on Andy. This is actually a rematch of last year's semifinal, a 1-point thriller won by Andy 401-400 as Eric gets some revenge this week. Greg taking on Nate, Phil taking on Miles, and I'm taking on Sean. LFFL 6, your big mover, Matt Merrill, jumps from fourth all the way up to first. He is not actually leading in any one month. However, top 5 in 5 of 7 leagues. The reason he's not leading any month, he was leading in June. Josh, your high score of the week in any best ball league, 173.3 to pass Matt in the June league into the lead. His score was actually more than 50 points better than anybody else in that league. Slick, also a big move this week, jumps from 8th up to 4th. Your standings, Matt in first, Greg in second, Bill in third, Slick in fourth. Looking at your elimination, Todd was your eliminated team this week. Big surprise here. He'd actually survived the most weeks in the history of this league in 29. Josh, second best in that category, 22nd, still a 27. Still alive, can actually pass Todd this season. 4 teams were within 6 points of Todd's score, making it the closest elimination we have ever had. LFFL8, Matt Brennan, your high score of the week. Phil does maintain his lead in this league. And LFFL9, we have some things in play here. Phil and myself, comfortable leads up there in the top bracket. In this bottom part of the bracket, though, 2 threatening upsets here. Nate with a lead over Todd. Jeremy with a little lead over Bill, threatening some upsets down the Sanders region. Eric beating Bill handily. Andy's beating Eric, and down here, Todd is beating Greg, and Matt is beating Greg, so Greg not doing so well over there. Final week for the Sweet 16. We are moving on from this one, and finally, Andy continues to lead in the Player of the Year. But listen, Matt, Merrill, and Josh, Merrill's move up to 2 and 3 this week. I sit in 4th, so we kind of a Merrill-Simon sandwich going on the top. Good luck to everybody this week. I wish you success in your matchups, unless, of course, you're playing me. So, good luck, guys.